Hi friends, I'm Juani and welcome to Juani's house. Well, today's video is another video in my Welcoming Fall Home series, and today I am making a wreath for every home. So I am going to share with you how I made 3 wreaths for 3 different homes, and I'm using items that I already had. It is very, very important that you recycle all of your greenery and your flowers that you use for past projects, because they are great to use when you're decorating throughout your house, and especially when you're creating your wreath. So I'm going through my stash here, and you see I have several different types of letters and picking out different flowers that I may want to use, and I'm just going to place them in stacks. So the first wreath is actually for my mom. She wanted something that could be transitional, that she can kind of use from season to season, and every year she can kind of bring it out. If you want to use it for the fall, it'll be perfect for the fall because she wasn't really committing to any colors. So I am using these really pretty cream mums here. I also have some cream sunflowers that I'm using that have like the brown center. So I'm really trying to make this very neutral, and you guys know I keep all of my leaves from any flowers that I picked up, and so I'm just going to stick some of the leaves in here because the leaves brings life to any arrangement. And then I had these pumpkins here that I spray painted gold, and I'm just using all these other picks and intermingling more greenery. And I think greenery on a wreath really makes it pop, and especially when you're using like this grapevine wreath. This grapevine wreath is also being recycled from previous projects. It was actually on her door, and so we took it off, and I'm just recycling it for the season. Now, when you're doing this, it's a little bit of trial and error. Sometimes you might have to try some things and it don't fit. So I'm trying a variety of different kinds of wordings because I wanted to have something on here. And then so I decided to use this green chicken wire wording with home on it. I think it'll look great on her door. And this is great because it was just the wood word that I originally glued to the chicken wire, and the chicken wire came in a spool, so I just cut off what I wanted and just glued this on here. And I think all of the colors look good because the chicken wire has a little bit of green on it. It goes with the green of the leaves, and then the home is a natural wood, and I just kind of went over very lightly with a little bit of watered down black paint. And yeah, I think this looks really nice. Okay, so this is what the wreath looks like, and I'm really liking it. I think it looks very neutral, it's very feminine, and it's very warm. So I think this will look great on her front door. Now the second wreath that we're going to do is actually going to be for my front door. This is another recycled wreath. I took this down. This is the wreath that I had on the door for the summer, and so we're going to take off all of these magnolia leaves, and I'm going to put them in my bag because you know I will use them for another project. Now, one thing that I am going to keep is the wording here. So I'm going to keep the welcome, and so I'm just dusted it off, and then I'm going to cover it with a fresh coat of black paint, and I'm just going to add the black paint onto my sponge brush and just go over this, and I'm making sure I get all around it, go on the outsides, because before I had the outsides exposed, but now I want to cover the outsides with black paint. Okay, so now I have my Mod Podge here, and with the same sponge, I'm just going to put the Mod Podge all over the word welcome. And this right here is what is going to instantly change the look of this sign, because before, because you know I'm using black in my home, but I'm also want to have some modern glam feel to this wreath. And so I'm going to use this Mod Podge, and then I bought some black glitter. This glitter here is so freaking sexy, and it instantly turns the volume up on the direction this wreath is going. It's going for a little bit, you know, spring, like laid back, to a wham glam. And so I'm going to put another layer of the Mod Podge on the glitter now that it's dried, and I let it dry about 30 minutes. And now I'm going to add this, and then I'm going to add another layer of glitter. All right, so this is what it looks like, and now we're gonna start adding the embellishments. Now, honestly, I think this looks good just like this, but of course, I can't just leave it like this. I'm gonna add some more leaves to this, and I love the wreaths that you kind of turn to the side. So majority of the time, that's how you will see my wreaths hung. They will either have most of the embellishments on one side, or I have them going halfway up on each side of the wreath. So because I am using coppers in the house with these natural greens and the black, I thought it would be only fitting to do the same thing with this wreath. So I'm using these beautiful copper leaves with some neutral colored leaves as well as these green leaves, and then I'm beginning to build upon this. Now, like I said before, all of these supplies or items that I already had. It's easy to spray paint something or glitter something up to change the look for whatever, however you want to use them. So I'm just going to reuse these pumpkins here, and just make sure it's glued down and it's secure. And I'm adding just like a large pumpkin, a medium pumpkin, and then a small pumpkin. So I have my metallic gold paint here, and I'm just going to paint the stem of my pumpkin gold, just to bring a little bit more gold accent to this. And I'm just using a Q-tip. If you had like a smaller paintbrush, you could use that. But my paintbrush, it was too big, so this worked just fine. Adding greenery is an easy way to enhance the look and make the wreath look more lifelike. So make sure that you keep these items so you will always have them handy. Now this is the final wreath that'll be going on my front door, and I absolutely love it. And it goes perfectly with the theme throughout my downstairs area. Now this next wreath is for Pooda, so it'll be going in her box that'll be leaving out next week. But in her apartment, she's using pinks and golds and really deep purple colors. So I thought this would be great. So I have this embroidery hoop here that I already had, and then I went to Joann's and I picked up these flowers here that I shared with you in an earlier video, and then I'm using these pumpkins and some more greenery that I already had. Now, all the supplies that I picked up were on sale at Joann's, and like I said, these are the colors that Pooda's using in her apartment, and so I wanted something that wouldn't be too bulky that I can transport. And so what I'm doing here, I'm keeping the stems on here because that is how I'm going to form this wreath, and so I'm just going to bend the stems along the edges of the wreath, and I'm gonna glue it on each side. And I love these really pretty purple, I guess they're like peonies or something. I love the deep color, and I love how it contrasts with that light green with the berries and the green of the leaves. You guys know I love using greenery, as I shared with you in the previous two wreaths. And so what I'm going to do now is I have some floral wire, and I'm just going to attach the stem of this flower to this floral wire. And don't worry about you'll be able to see it, because what you can do, you can spray paint the floral wire if you want to, and you can also kind of cover that up with the leaves, and that's what we're gonna pretty much do for this wreath. So I'm just going to take the buds off of these roses. Once again, I'm going to use some of these leaves, and then the rest of them I'm going to put to the side for another project. And I'm just going to begin arranging the leaves on the back side of the peony, and then I'm going to attach the pink rose heads. And I think this is so pretty, and I know it is going to look amazing in her apartment. She can't hang it on the outside of her door, but she can hang it like in her room on the inside of her door. And just use a command strip over there, and it is all gone. It is all done. She will have a little bit of home in her house with this DIY that was created by me. Now I love how all these colors are mixing and contrasting together. And then in the middle here, I'm adding this small pumpkin, because although she wants a little bit of fall in her home, she doesn't want pumpkin overload. She does not like that. But I'm just going to add this little pumpkin here, and it's just the accent so that she'll know it's something for the fall season. And just by adding a little bit more leaves, and we are almost done. So I have these words here, and I'm trying to figure out which word is the best word to use. And because we only have one gold accent, which is that pumpkin, I'm going to use a word, and then I'm going to spray paint it gold. So I use this welcome, and I'm just gonna hot glue it on each side underneath the pumpkin so it'll have something to anchor. And then what I also did was, because I know I have to wrap this up and it has to travel overseas, I used some E6000 so that it can hold the pumpkin in place, and she doesn't have to worry about it unattaching from either side of the wreath. And hopefully, fingers crossed, that it travels well. I really loved all of the wreath that I shared with you today, and this last wreath is the wreath that is going to Pooda over in Tokyo, and it will be making her home fall. And this is what the wreath looks like on the door, and I love it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video as I welcome fall home to 3 different homes. And if you like any of these wreaths, please let me know down in the description box which one that you like the best, as well as give this video a thumbs up. So if you would like more fall inspiration, I will attach more of my welcoming fall home videos up in the iCard above. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video, but before I go, you know what I always say. The next time you're in town, you can always stop by Juani's house, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.